Hey guys, welcome back to the Style and Beauty Doctor on YouTube, and today we're going to be talking about Flesh Beauty, a new line that launched in Ulta with 40 foundation shades. So in this video today, we're going to talk about the deeper end. Are those shades great, or do they need work? And we're going to talk about the performance of the foundation. Is it something that you need to run out and get, or can you keep your coin? And then last, I'm going to do a demo so you can see how the foundation works on me. So I'm going to show you my base shade, my highlight shade, and my contour shade. So you know what you need to do. Make sure you're subscribed and keep watching. So the foundation is available at Ulta, comes in 40 shades. I like that all 40 shades, wherever it's available, all 40 shades will be on display, you know, give or take for inventory and things like that. But I love that because if you ever shopped Ulta and you have a deeper skin tone, you'll know that even with brands that have foundations in deeper skin tones, that Ulta sometimes only carries the first 4 beige shades and they leave the dark shades out. You have to either buy it online, and sometimes you can't even get it online. You have to go to the actual brand's website or go to another retailer, and you know, it's like, what you do in Ulta. So glad to see that all 40 shades are on display. Also, what's really great, and it makes it so much easier when you're trying to pick out a shade when you're in store, is that each shade, the packaging mimics the color of that shade. So you have this beautiful gradation of the shades within the packaging itself, just kind of beautifully showing off the shade range. Okay, so it's important to understand that there is no universal foundation guide in the beauty industry. So let's get that. I'll say it again. There is no universal foundation shade range in the beauty industry. So a dark with neutral undertones at brand A can look totally different from a dark brown with neutral undertones at brand B. It's important for you to understand your undertones and use that to figure out your shade match in this foundation range. But if you go on either the Flesh Beauty site or the Ulta Beauty site, they have descriptions of the foundations and their undertones, which makes it very helpful. If you want more information on that, make sure you check out my Are You Wearing the Wrong Foundation video. And then another thing, now as more and more brands are coming out with more and more shades for deeper skin tones, there's a chance that some of us, like especially back in the day with MAC, where everybody named mama was an NW45, there is a chance that some of us were getting by on a foundation shade, so you might have been wearing something that maybe really wasn't your match, and you don't want to, you know, continue furthering those mistakes when new foundations and new shades come out. So take that, oh, you know, what's the shade match for NW45? Like, there may not even be an exact shade match for NW45. So use the undertones, watch my Are You Wearing the Wrong Foundation video to find your match, and use the descriptions that they have on the site. So Pecan wound up being my closest shade match. It's described as a raw umber with neutral undertones. I like that these are small because they're easy to transport. You can just like kind of stick them in your bag or your travel bag if you travel often. This is how much product you get. Now, see, some people might be like, oh my God, that's such a little bit of product for $18. But, you know, a foundation stick goes a long way. So what I'll do is I'll kind of like, and I'm not really that great with like measuring grams to things because I tend to buy a foundation more so on the look, the color match, and how how it works with my lifestyle more so than how much foundation I'm getting for my money. Like, I would pay a premium price to get the right foundation, even if they only gave me like this much. So I'm not the best at comparing like grams to things, but I'll put a little bit of a comparison to some other popular foundation sticks so you can kind of get an idea if that is important to you. Let's go in with Pecan. So I like the finish. I love that this foundation gives a skin-like finish. As I did mention before, I have actually tried this for a couple of days before I'm filming this video review. So I do think that this is probably not the greatest summer foundation for me. I would have to do a lot of skin prep. I would have to, you know, really make sure that I'm wearing the right moisturizer for the weather, the right primer, and then I would also still may even have to do, you know, go in every now and again to do some touch-ups. So, I mean, the foundation would work for me in the summertime, but I would have to kind of, you know, be more high maintenance about touching up. Whereas if it was like spring or fall or even winter, this would be more of a low maintenance foundation for me because I wouldn't have as much oil breakthrough and touching up to do. When I was looking on the Flesh Beauty site, they don't call out a particular skin type that this foundation is great for, which makes sense because, again, depending on the season, the type of moisturizer you're using, your skincare, you know, so many factors go into how a foundation is going to perform outside of the foundation's own formula. So I love that like skin-like finish that you get with it. It's just like, I love it. And with these, if you need, it does provide medium coverage. If you need a little bit more, you can go back in and layer where you might need a little bit more coverage. Like I have like the dark spots on my chin and on my forehead. Go back in and layer. Now, because I do have an oilier skin type and it is the summertime and it is pretty hot, I'm going to set this with powder. But if you have a normal to drier skin type and you're really looking for that really nice luminous finish, you can either just set in your T-zone or you can use a powder that has like that kind of luminous look to it, or a powder that's made for drier skin types. So I'm going to go set this, do my eye makeup, and I'm going to come back and show you the highlight and contour also with these foundation sticks. Okay, so now I'm going to highlight and contour. So for highlighting, you want to use the shade that's about 2, maybe 3. You're kind of pushing it when you go up to 3 shades lighter than your skin tone. But maybe with deeper skin tones, and if you're looking to really bring that dimension back into your face, highlighting also kind of mimics our natural coloring because we tend to be lighter in the center of our faces. So typically you want to go with something that's in the same undertone as your foundation. I have a neutral undertone, but I like to brighten the center and especially underneath my eyes. So I go with something that has a golden undertone. Typically I use Bobbi Brown creamy concealer in the shade Golden. But the closest that comes to that in the Flesh range is shade 28 Cafe. So we're just gonna go in. This is what she looks like. And then these are just like, this is Cafe and then this is Cinnamon. But these were the 2 closest highlighting shades. Since this one looked a little more red than I wanted it to, I'm gonna do Cafe, which is this beauty right here. Now I will use Pecan underneath my brow bone highlight because I tend to use something that's a little bit darker than what I use to highlight with. Okay, and I'm using the Ashunta Sharif Perfect Blend brush, the pointed end. Just getting right up underneath there. For contour, I have several options depending on the look that I'm going for. Now, when you contour, you typically want to go with something 2 shades darker than your skin tone, usually something with a cooler undertone because that's what's going to create that shadow that you get with a contour. But some of us can go with something with a warmer undertone. I tend to go either way, either a warm or a cool, depending on the look I'm going for, but I tend to prefer like the warmer undertone, the warmer contour. So I have 3 options. So I have number 38, Hot Cocoa, which is described as a deep with red undertones. Then I have 39, which is Coffee, which is described as a deep umber with pink undertones. And then 40, which is Espresso, which is described as espresso with bluish undertones. Now, of course, I wasn't smart and swatched these in order. So this one here, and then I didn't swatch it in a way that made sense for the camera. But this one here is the Hot Cocoa, so that's 38. Then this is 39, which is a Coffee. And then that's 40, which is the Espresso. Welcome to my zany world in the way I do things. I'm actually going to use Hot Cocoa. Well, let's see what it looks like. Yeah, I'm going to do Hot Cocoa. I'm going to use the Cover FX Mineral Powder Foundations, which I had in my pocket for some reason. So I'm going to use N80. I'm going to use N80 to set my highlight. And then to set my contour, I'm using the P125. Okay, so I'm going to bake, put some lashes on, and then finish her up on camera, give some of my final thoughts, and then we'll be out. Okay, so this is why I need to start taking notes. So between traveling and having a whole bunch of other work that I'd had to push to the side, I can't really remember if I tried the Flesh blushers yet. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put them on this video, and then I'll put something on the bottom of the screen, because once I edit this and get this up, it'll be later once I've had a chance to actually try the blush, so that you'll know my thoughts there. And of course, make sure you check out the blog for more information. Oh, these lashes are, what's the brand? Cocoa Lashes, and the style is Flirty. I think I might need to, well, I gotta see how it looks when I look at it on camera. I might need to order a couple more pairs of this style. And then the eyes are a combination of the Fenty Beauty Moroccan Spice palette, and then I took the shade Don't Stop. Is it Don't Stop, Won't Stop? Or Don't Stop, Get It, Get It? What is Don't Stop? I'll put a link to the blog post that I did on the eyeshadow palette. But it's a MAC shade, and I use that just to kind of deepen the color. Because I do wish that the Moroccan Spice palette had like a really dark eggplant-like color in it. But it does not, and I already had one, so there's that on that. So when it comes to blush, the darker your skin, the brighter the blush. Do not debate me. Any kind of like light pink or soft orange or any of those like soft light shades, they're gonna be like, your skin is gonna be like, do not insult me with such drab shades. You want something bright and bold and pigmented. Our skin tones can take it, so don't be scared, girl. Okay, so I asked Flesh to send me their brightest blush shades, and I got Fever and Pinch here. I looked at the blush shade offerings online. I was looking at computerized pictures, and I figured Pinch and Fever would be the brightest shades. And you know, I haven't seen all of their blush shades, but they do seem to be some of the brightest. So this one is Fever. It's a bright orange matte. And then this one is Pinch. It is a bright berry pink. Or if some lighting, it might look a little bit magenta. Okay, so here we go with Pinch. Lorac Lip Gloss and Flower Child. So here are the swatches. I think this is a pretty impressive shade range. It's not the most extensive for deeper skin tones. There are brands out there that have more on the deeper end. Off the top of my head, APDG is a brand that has way more shades on the deeper end. But this shade range is kind of comparable to what you'll see at like a Cover FX or a MAC Cosmetics. But make sure you check out the shade descriptions on the Ulta site, which I'll have linked in the description box, because there are some nuances in between the shades, especially the ones on the darker end that you may not see with the naked eye in the swatches, but the nuances and the differences are there. So make sure you check out the shade descriptions on the Ulta site. And your best bet, of course, is to pop into an Ulta store to get shade matched. Okay, so to sum things up, I love these Flesh foundation sticks. I love that they give you a very skin-like finish. Now, if you have oily skin like me and it's the summertime, this is something that's going to be a little bit more high maintenance when it comes to doing touch-ups throughout the day, because you're going to get some oil breakthrough. I don't mind a little oil breakthrough because I don't want to look like super, super, super matte. I prefer like maybe like a semi-matte or more of like a natural matte finish, and I don't mind a little oil breakthrough. Like, let the oil live sometime. But in the summertime, especially if you're someplace where it's really hot and humid like how it has been here in New York, it's going to be very high maintenance to do with the touch-ups, because it's like you are going to have oil breakthrough like every 5 minutes because it's just so hot. So for me, this might be a foundation that I might wear when the weather's a little bit cooler out, when it's not as humid. Of course, when it's, you know, the winter time here in New York, I won't need to do as many touch-ups with the foundation like this, so this will be perfect for me for times like that. But overall, it is something that I could wear year-round. I just would have to make tweaks with my skincare, my moisturizer, and, you know, be realistic with how much I would need to work to touch it up. But I am quite pleased with how this looks. I love the way that it's just very skin-like. Like, very few people have like naturally contoured and highlighted and big beautiful lashes and color of their eyelids. So if there were people that had that naturally, some might mistake this for, you know, like, oh my god, you have great skin. and nice eyeshadow and blush and eye makeup and thing. Anyway, so leave me a comment. Would you check out this foundation stick? If you would not, let me know why you would not, because this is not everything is for everybody, so I can kind of see where some people may not love a foundation stick like this or love this line. But again, great shade range. It's available at Ulta. They're $18 for the foundation stick. You get 0.16 ounce product. Again, I'm not someone who's stuck on how much product you get for the money, because I would pay, you know, a premium to get a really great color match and a really great formula. I would pay a premium if you gave me this much foundation. So that's me. If that is not you, of course, you know, do your comparisons. I'll leave some links to some other popular foundation sticks if you're looking for a stick, but maybe this is not the one for you, so make sure you check that out in the description box. Follow me on social. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, all of the things. Make sure you follow me. I'm trying to, as summer ends, and I really get back into full swing with content and things like that, what I'm trying to do is have different content for each of my platforms. So it'll be amazing if you follow me on all of them, so you can get a taste of everything. I punch myself in the face, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.